All right, this is just it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. 777 AEJ, God's Healer, and Johnathan Kleck. I'm going to propose a question that if you got the answers, I would like you to give it to us. I'd like you to point out to me where I'm wrong here in revealing what this strong delusion is and showing you that the Hebrew Bible is encoded with pagan mythology of serpent doctrines of destruction and death of peoples of this world. And that's exactly what this channel does. It reveals the secrets that have been hidden from the foundations of the world. The exact same commandment that Jesus Christ gives. He says what he tells us in secret, that we are supposed to shout it from the housetops. So this is really me following the command of Jesus Christ. This has been revealed, the very secrets that have been hidden from the foundations of the world to my eyes. And what I'm trying to do is shout it from the housetops. And at the same time, I would like these three channels that I quoted to kind of give us their perspective and to show us how in the world this has taken place and what this really has to do with Jewish theology. Why is this included in this supposed King James Bible that is supposed to be the absolute Word of God? When in reality, what we're going to find out is that these portions are directly the word of the serpent, the dead letter. And there's no denying it. If you just give this video the time to show you the evidence, and then you yourselves can do the backup research without actually even listening to the answers that these channels will give, when in all reality, I actually don't think that these channels are going to give any answers. Without a doubt, they're probably going to ignore me. But what I'm hoping is that the listeners and the viewers of these channels do not ignore, because this is serious business. The strong delusion is basically spreading upon the world, and it's based upon the serpent doctrine that you're going to see the evidence that it's laced in the very Bible itself. So let us begin. First of all, we're going to compare briefly the book of Leviticus from the Old Testament, the Hebrew Bible, that are supposed to be rumored to be written by Moses. Well, the first thing that you're going to find out that it is recorded far before the days of Moses, that it is actually coming thousands of years before Moses ever lived, and it's coming from ancient Anunnaki mythology, myths, traditions. Why is it coded into the Hebrew Bible, guys? Why are we seeing the death proclamations of demons being given to us as the Word of God? And that for some reason, we have a huge majority of supposed Christian channels that are unable to correctly divide the word and reveal the love, mercy, and patience of Jesus Christ above the anger, vengeance, jealousy, and wrath of these fallen lords. So let's begin. First of all, we're going to compare the writings from an ancient tablet known as Atrahasis III. And we're going to compare this directly with Leviticus. Let's compare the line from verse 26 or chapter 26, verse 22 of Leviticus directly with this line here in Atrahasis. First, I'll read here. I will also send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children and destroy your cattle. Let's compare this directly with this line here. Let there be a Pasitu demon, a wild beast. Let there be a Pasitu demon among the people to snatch, in other words, rob the baby from its mother's lap. The exact same message. And what you'll see is that Leviticus and Atrahasis are all about a depopulation event. It's the very same depopulation event that is being foisted upon our world right now. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into your hearts. So, as we compare more of these verses here, let us go ahead and now show you this line here, which will compare what I just read in Leviticus. Only one or two households were left alive. Their faces were covered with scabs like malt. People stayed alive by. It's the exact same thing that Leviticus is saying. And if you don't understand that Leviticus is coded in a judgment of sevens, well, it's the exact same thing that Atrahasis is coded into, a judgment of sevens. So, to show you more of the proof that Atrahasis and Leviticus are a proclamation of death by devils, pagan gods, Anunnaki fallen ones that have been laced into the Hebrew Bible by these mystery religions and secret societies, even the Fraternal Order of Freemasonry that is associated with the King James. If we look right here, it will be very, very easy to see in line 29 what we're dealing with. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters ye shall eat. When the 6th year arrived, they served up a daughter for a meal, served up a son for food. Very same thing. The commandment of them eating their sons and daughters. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters ye shall eat. Now, of course, this is a code of sevens. If you read Atrahasis 3, you'll see it's the very same code of sevens. So at this point, if you don't have to take my word for it, but if you're really after the truth and you're seeking the truth and you don't want to fall to this strong delusion and you're truly searching out a loving, merciful God and that you don't want no serpent snaking around your grass feeding you some sort of false doctrine that's going to confuse you here in these last days, why don't you go ahead and Google this for yourself? Google Leviticus and Atrahasis, and you'll see the connections that not just me, that many other people are going to show you. So my question is to these people, can you guys help us understand that what you're teaching us about this Jewish tradition, Jewish theology, even the very same Israelites that rejected Jesus, how has this gotten into the Bible? And why are you guys not sharing this with the people so that they can make better decisions about what the truth is actually in the Bible? Because what's in the Bible is the beginning roots of the strong delusion that are set against the truth of Jesus Christ as the eternal Son of God. Within this Bible manuscript, this doctored script is the promotion of these serpent lords of the ancient past. It's not in the fullness of the promotion of the mercy and the forgiveness of Jesus Christ. Although we do find this mercy, forgiveness, and perfection of Jesus Christ in the Bible, it is absolutely surrounded and encompassed on all sides by the false doctrines of Israel. And they're right here in front of your face. So, I will send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children. Let this really sink into your head here. Let there be the Peshitu demon, in other words, wild beasts among the people to rob them of their children. It's the exact same thing. Now, is there any way that you guys can help us understand this? 77 AEJ, Johnathan Kleck, God's Healers. You guys kind of sound like you got the answers. You kind of are promoting the fact that God or some God is speaking directly to you so that you can teach the people correctly. I'd like to know what God is actually speaking through you and what God you're actually promoting. Because if you're promoting Jesus Christ, it's now your duty and your task to reveal this to the people, to reveal the truth to the poor and needy, so that they can understand that this judgment that is being brought against man, this faulty fire from the sky, is actually coming from the serpents themselves. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some ancient Hindu mythology that we're going to actually pair up perfectly with Genesis in the Bible. First thing that you need to read and understand is that this Hindu mythology is all about Naga serpents, even the worship of these Naga serpents as ancient serpent kings. Well, it's the very same lineage of kings that we find that are a product of these fallen sons of God. Now, I'm not actually saying that these beings are actual reptiles or serpents. That's really more code for the reptilian portion of the brain of where we find the pineal gland at. And because of this portion of the brain is considered reptilian, third eye open. So that's really what this is all about. So let me go ahead and read this so that we can compare it directly to Genesis. But at this point, I'll read here so that you can see where this fiery judgment at the end of an age is actually coming from. The same place that the Hebrew Bible is quoting, right? Because in the beginning of Genesis, we see that there's an ending of an age, and I'm going to show you that. And then there appears a serpent. Go to the ending of Revelations, and then you'll see after their 1,000-year kingdom age, guess what? There's a serpent again. Well, wow, it's the very same thing that we see in this pagan Hindu mythology. It says here, Sesha represents the cycles of time. Indeed, the Vishnu Purana, we read that when Sesha yawns, he causes the earth to tremble with its oceans and forest. Kind of sounds like the very same thing that's described about God in association with Yahweh, how he calls the mountains and the earth to tremble. Does he not? It's the same thing. Well, that's not a proclamation of our Father. That's the proclamation of a fallen one, and you'll see further. At the end of each cosmic period, he vomits blazing fire of destruction, which devours all creation. So the Naga serpents, which we see everywhere around us at anchor, are connected to the birth and death of world ages and to the eternal regeneration of time. Well, that's the exact same story in the Hebrew Bible, that in the beginning of Genesis, we have serpents, and at the ending of Genesis, we have serpents that are released at the end of this age. It's the exact same thing. Is there any way that you guys can help the people to see and correctly divide the word so that they don't get confused with the serpent doctrine, and that they can fully more better realize that Jesus Christ is the absolute truth and way and life in this world? We need to realize that, and we need your help, your input on this. So I do hope that you guys will deliver to us in video form, and to your viewers who obviously see this video, some of them, they need some answers too. And because, like I said, you guys pretty much act like you got all the answers and that God is leading this revelation that you're giving to the people, you know, I guess it's only natural that we need to hear your take on it, right? So let me go back to the beginning of Genesis. This video is going to be over in a matter of minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and show you here that we can find the very same pagan Hindu mythologies right here in the very beginning of Genesis. But what's important is that at the end, I'm going to show you the truth of Jesus Christ, his words, and what he's revealing about this beginning of Genesis. Please wait to see that. Let's look at line 1. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Now look what it says here in my Bible, my study Bible. It says, earth made waste and empty by judgment. Now it gives us the clarification of Jeremiah 4:23 through 26, where you can see the recounting of this line. Now, the next line, it says, after the earth has been destroyed, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Well, guess what? That's not our God. That's this serpent God that is actually responsible for this destruction at this world age that you just saw so easily quoted by this pagan mythology that pairs up perfectly with the very same serpent mythology that's encoded into the Hebrew Bible, with the serpents there at the beginning and the ending of destructive ages. Now let's show you the fulfillment of what you just read right here in the very same ancient Hindu pagan mythology. It says, when creation is withdrawn, all right? First, we see creation was created, and then we see that it is withdrawn. It's withdrawn into this portion of without form, void, and darkness. It says, when creation is withdrawn, it cannot entirely cease to be. There must remain. Now that's talking about the very same remnant that these ones of fallen Israel believe themselves to be lifted up away from this destruction so that they can be the remnant to start the new age. What's the very same thing that's talking about? there must remain in subtle form. Remember, the serpent is considered subtle in Genesis? There must remain in subtle form the germ of all that has been and will be, so that the world may rise again. It is the remainder of the destroyed universes, world ages, which is embodied in the serpent floating on the limitless ocean, forming the couch on which sleeping Vishnu rests. So in other words, we see a serpent floating, hovering over this vast ocean, right? Let's go ahead and take a look at this. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And the spirit of this serpent floated upon the face of the limitless oceans. Incredible. It's the very same pagan mythology. That's right. So the Hebrew Bible is not infallible. It's not the perfect word of God. Matter of fact, it is completely full of false serpent doctrines based upon ancient lies of these fallen ones. And these are the exact same secrets that Jesus Christ is revealing to me and that is commanding me to shout from the housetops, so that the people that truly want to know and follow Jesus Christ through this tribulation and make it onto the other side with their faith intact, that they actually have a chance to do that. They actually have a chance to make their own decisions and not be led into this pit, not be led into this broad way that is all about basically this serpent lie of ye are gods. So you guys really should pay attention to this next thing that I'm going to show you here, because it's going to deal with Jesus Christ. Let me show you something that Jesus is going to show you if you're actually listening and following Jesus and not some sort of doctrine from some sort of pagan gods. This is going to be chapter 19 of the book of Matthew, and we're going to start looking here at verse 4. And he answered and said unto them, Have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female together? Now, what's so important to understand about this is that you got to understand Jesus Christ is all-knowing, and that he reveals these secrets through the parable of his word, through the actual written records that are recorded of Jesus Christ's words in the Hebrew Bible. All we have to do is to look to that and not Yahweh, anger, wrath, and vengeance, and condemnation and judgment. We look to the mercy and the patience of Jesus to find the truth. And we got it. We got the truth right here. It says that man, male, and female were made in the very beginning. Well, let's take a good look at Genesis, for it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Well, if you follow what Jesus Christ's words are all about, in this very same beginning, we see that man and woman were created simultaneously. That would make a lot of sense, because you need to understand what Jeremiah is actually talking about. And then you need to understand that there has been an ending of an age which has created destruction for these people. And then, of course, we see the renewal of the age. The serpent is right there on the scene. It's right there on the scene. Now, if you don't believe that it's a serpent on the scene, I guess you have to, I guess we have to wait for the answers of Johnathan Kleck and 77 AEJ and God's Healer, because they need to show us what we're missing here about this serpent floating on the limitless ocean. And it's the very same thing about this Spirit of God which moved upon the face of the waters. Now remember, the serpent is associated with this destruction of universes. In other words, world ages. And do we not have the very same destruction here? Yeah, we do. And do we not have the appearance soon come of a serpent right after this in Genesis? Yeah, we do. So really, there ain't no way to deny the truth of what Jesus Christ has revealed to his true believers. The only thing that we need to understand is why none of these other people who supposedly know the word and the Bible so well, why they're not showing people this so that they can make their own decisions here. All right. We see right here the exact same thing that we see in these ancient serpent mythologies. And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Wow. So, in other words, the serpent at the beginning, recorded in Genesis, associated with the destruction, associated with floating atop these waters. And then here we see at the end of this age, the serpent, associated with the symbolism of Satan, is loosed again. Wow. How convenient. How convenient. If people would really like to understand what the truth is of the Bible and to understand what the true love and mercy of Jesus Christ really is, give my channel a chance. Give my channel a chance. I am really hoping that these people are going to put up a video and explain to us what this is all about. I guess we'll just have to wait patiently. Thank you.